So I think we are good to go. Hello everyone, I am MD Karim. So in this session, Farhana Nasrin Nabila will be our host today. So Farhana Nasrin Nabila, the floor is yours. Carry on, Nabila.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the IEEE JAS Student Branch webinar on Demand-Side Technology Management for Privacy in Smart Grids. I am Farhana Nazrin Nabila, Joint Secretary of IEEE Joshua University of Science and Technology, and your host for the day. We are thrilled to have Dr. Mohammad Belayet Hossain, a research fellow at the School of Information Technology, Deakin University, Australia, as our guest speaker today. We will talk about him and listen to him about his research and his journey after a few moments. But now, here, let's welcome Dr. Mehdi Hassan sir, who is Associate Professor at Joshua University of Science and Technology. He has pursued his postdoctoral PhD in Engineering 2022 from Macquarie University, Sydney, Australia, and advisor of IEEE Joshua University of Science and Technology Student Branch. Let us also welcome Mohammad Amjad Hossain, Dr. Engineer Sir, who is also Associate Professor at Joshua University of Science and Technology. He received his doctoral degree in Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, Graduate School of Science and Engineering, Saga University, Saga, Japan. And he is the counselor of IEEE Just and now let's start it. So, Joel sir. Is Joel sir here?
Thank you, Nabila. Can you hear me?
Hello, sir. Before diving into this session, I would like to request you to share your experience and your IEEE experience of your researching and IEEE related domain. Please, sir, continue.
Okay. Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. It's all clear. Thank you.
Okay.
Please continue.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to thank our student branch in Joshua University of Science and Technology. You are doing great and actively participating and actively working in every domain to make the branch successful in Joshua University of Science and Technology. So I am just working as a guidance for you, but mostly the major part is just doing by yourself. And I again want to thank you all for actively participating in every aspects of the work. In addition to that, I also want to thank our IEEE counselor, Dr. Amjad Hossain, who is now on leave for his postdoctoral professions. And without him and some other faculties of our university, it wouldn't be possible to successfully develop or successfully create our branch in Joshua University of Science and Technology. So I also want to heartfully thank to him as well. Today, Dr. Belayet Hossain, we are more than happy to have him in our branch for the first time. And obviously expect that our student will be benefited from him, and he will successfully completed the first session today. So yeah, that's all. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Joseph, for your kind words. Now, I would like to invite Mohammad Amjad sir to give a short speech and share his experience as IEEE member and his research. Sir, please continue.
Thank you very much, Nabila. Good afternoon, everybody. So many sweet faces and sweet voices. I really welcome Dr. Belayet for this program. I really appreciate this initiative, especially Dr. Mehdi Hassan, as well as the IEEE student branch, the committee member, executive committee member of IEEE student branch at Joshua University of Science and Technology. Okay, so thank you very much all. I again welcome Dr. Belayet, and we are really happy to hear his excellency, his research, his present presentations. So please, again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mohammad Amjad Hossain sir. Now we have Dr. Belayet Hossain sir. Mohammad Belayet Hossain sir received his BSc Engineering degree in Electrical and Electronic Engineering from Khulna University of Khulna University of Engineering and Technology, Kuwait, Khulna, Bangladesh. Then MSc degree in Biomedical Engineering from the University of Malaya, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and then PhD degree from School of Information Technology, Deakin University, Victoria, Australia in 2021. After completing his PhD degree, he has been working as a research fellow at the School of Information Technology, Deakin University. Dr. Hossain is an accomplished researcher in the field of smart grid technology and has published numerous articles in high impact journals with 250 plus citations. That's a great number. His research focuses on developing efficient and secure energy management techniques for smart grid while preserving user privacy, machine learning, electric vehicles, energy storage application in smart grid, image processing, and vehicle to grid network, and so on. As we know, smart grids have emerged as a key solution for addressing energy demand and supply challenges. However, the development of smart grids has also raised concerns about user privacy as they collect vast amount of personal data. Therefore, the need for demand side energy management techniques and that ensure user privacy is really important now, and it's the peak demand. During this webinar, Dr. Hossain will share his research findings on demand-side energy management techniques for preserving user privacy in smart grid. He will also discuss the challenges and opportunities associated with this adoption of these techniques. We have participants from all over the world joining us virtually today, and we will encourage every one of you to engage in this lively discussion with Dr. Hossain during the question and answer session after his presentation. So without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to Dr. Mohammad Belayet Hossain and begin this exciting webinar on demand-side energy management for privacy in smart grid. Thank you all for joining us today. The floor is yours, sir. Please carry on.
Thank you so much. First, I'd like to thank IEEE student branch in Joshua Science and Technology University and Dr. Mehdi and Dr. Amjad for giving me this opportunity to present my work. Okay, so yeah, maybe I'll share my slide, then I'll continue. So can you show my slide? Can you see my slide?
Yes, we can. Please, Dr. Belayet.
Okay, thank you so much. Yep. Actually, I completed my PhD based on this research. This is demand-side energy management for privacy in the smart grid. Currently, I'm working as a Sweet Research Fellow, School of Information Technology, Deakin University, Australia. Okay. So, yep. Sure. Yeah, this is the outline of my presentation. First, I'll talk about, I'll introduce the smart grid, then element of the smart grid, and what is the security and privacy issue in the smart grid. What is the privacy threat? Then we have proposed some solution, some of them already published and some of them under review. Then what is the privacy challenges, okay? And our current work and future work. These are the outline of my presentation. Yeah, so introduction to the smart grid. Actually, this is the conventional grid that are being used in many countries still. So the conventional power grid are generally used to carry power from a few power plant to the significant large number of user or consumers. So actually, it is not an advanced one as you are the student of the EEE. So you already know that how power transmission, generation, and distribution happen. So it is in case of conventional power grid. So there are some issues with the conventional power grid. For example, it is incapable of handling dramatic increase in consumer demand. So sometimes we know that there is a peak period and off-peak period in case of power grid. So in case of peak period, the demand could be very high, and which can causes for voltage sag or blackout and overload. And the efficiency of the power delivery is very limited in case of conventional grid. So there is also some other problem, like electrical network contribute greatly to the carbon emissions. So we know that there is some heating and other carbon emissions that come from the electrical network, and energy distribution is monitored manually. So actually, in a few seconds, very large amount of energy can be lost if it is grounded or any fault happen. So in case of conventional grid, as it is monitored manually, so it cannot be fixed very fast. So there is a loss of energy. And the smart grid is an enhanced version of the conventional power grid. So there is a two-way communication and electricity flow. So in case of smart grid, actually it has been integrated the communication infrastructure with the power grid in case of smart grid, and especially the wireless communication. And therefore there are two-way communication and also two-way electricity flow in case of smart grid. So the use of renewable energy is very high in case of smart grid, while in case of conventional grid, the use of renewable energy is very limited. So there are advantages of smart grid compared to the conventional grid. For example, enhanced power reliability and quality. So power is very reliable actually, improving resilience to disruption. So the probability of disruption of power is very low, enabling predictive maintenance and self-healing response to system disturbance. So it can be self-heal in case of smart grid. Easy deployment of renewable energy source, which is very important because the use of renewable energy source is increasing very rapidly. Okay, there are few reasons of this, and when people are converting their conventional grid to the smart grid, they can easily integrate the renewable energy source to their main grid. And in case of smart grid, there is a automated maintenance and operation. Okay. And it is also, smart grid also has contribution in reducing the greenhouse gas emission by enabling electric vehicle and new power sources, enabling new product, service, and market in case of smart grid. Okay, so mainly these three are the elements of the smart grid, such as smart energy substation, smart communication substation, and smart information substation. So actually, in case of smart grid, as I mentioned previously, that there is a information and communication are being integrated with this, with the power system. Okay, which is very important. There are in case of smart energy subsystem, there are three parts: power generation, transmission, and distribution. So this is the power generation part, this is the transmission grid, and this is the distribution grid. Okay. And for power generation, it can be from anywhere, maybe electricity generating from natural gas, hydropower, coal, nuclear power, sun or wind. Then this is the transmission grid, an integrated system that functionally consists of three interactive components: smart control center, smart power transmission, and substation. So this is like, transmission. And the last one is the distribution, which we are getting connection at our houses from the distribution grid. And smart information subsystem, actually, it consists of smart meter. In fact, the smart meter is the heart of the smart grid, actually. So we can define smart meter like modern electric meter that perform communication between the user and the service provider. They support two-way communication. So you can easily observe what amount of energy you are consuming at your house if you are using smart meter. Okay. So it can record consumer short-term interval and report to the utility provider. So in some countries, they are recording energy consumption maybe within second. Okay, so normally it records in 15 minutes, the smart meter. In future, smart meter will have the ability to disconnect and reconnect remotely and control the user appliances and devices to manage load and demand with smart building. So, smart building, in case of smart building, the devices are connected wirelessly and they can turn on and off. So in future, smart meter has the ability to control this. Actually, people are working on this. And sensor, definitely we need sensor for wireless communication. When something find in the sensor fault or other things, then it will be disconnected automatically by using the data. For this data, we need smart meter or other measuring device. So by using the smart grid, it is possible to detect power failure such as conductor failure, tower collapse, hotspot, extreme mechanical condition. And this is the communication subsystem in the smart grid. Okay, so there is power flow, information flow, and stakeholder. The information flow can be wireless communication or wired communication. Okay. And in case of wireless communication, it can be cellular, wireless mesh network, or satellite. In fact, in case of smart agriculture farm, the satellite communication are used. Mostly in case of smart grid, they use the cellular communication. Okay. And in case of wired communication, people are using, or different energy company are using fiber optics and power line. Okay, now let's come with the privacy and security issue in the smart grid. So what is privacy and security actually? Okay, so privacy means protecting identity or not being observed by others. Okay, so if someone is using something in the house and as there is a real-time observation of the energy consumption, if someone in the middle or maybe energy company can understand what is happening in the house, or he can observe what appliances being used in the house, then this is the breach of privacy actually. And security means protecting unauthorized access or free from danger or threat. Okay. Actually, in the context of smart grid, privacy refers to the privacy of the end user. That means the privacy of the consumer. who are using the energy from the grid. Security of smart grid refers to the security of the whole system. For example, the power grid communication network. Sometimes it may happen that some virus can be, because everyone is using different software, okay, and they can use some virus to collect all the data. So this would go with the security system. So introduction to privacy, information about an individual of an organization. So by using the, actually, if you want to define the privacy, then it comes with the name, mailing, or street address, if someone can understand this. For example, every energy company has the data of all houses for the billing purpose. So this information, email address, telephone number, age, or date of birth. So if any one of them is being breached, it's called the privacy breach. And in fact, for defining the privacy, we need to being concerned about this type of data so that they are not going to other people. That they should go to the people who need to deal with that. For example, different kind of power companies. Okay. In the context of the smart grid, privacy referred to the privacy of the consumer or smart meter. Smart meter data of a consumer can be used for identifying the private activity of a consumer. Okay, so by analyzing the data that are being used by a house and it is being recorded by the smart meter, it is possible to identify what is happening actually inside the house. How many people are living, either there is a children or an old person there, okay? Privacy of smart meter is essential for the privacy of the smart grid. So if in different countries, for example, maybe USA, Australia, or Canada, they are promoting to use the smart grid. And smart meter is the core component of the smart grid. So if they cannot confirm the privacy of the energy consumer, people will not be interested to use the smart grid. So it is very important to maintain the privacy of the smart meter or the privacy of the smart grid. Okay. So as I told you before, the smart meter enable two-way communication between the meter and central system. So based on this communication, maybe someone in the middle can identify what data is being transferred between them, or maybe sometime any employee in the utility provider may not may try to sell the personal data to other company to get some benefit. So it's very important to preserve the privacy of smart meter. Smart meter data actually offer different advantages such as accurate control of the system, load balancing, better safe estimation process, real-time load monitoring. So by using the high resolution smart meter data, these activities are possible. Okay. However, this type of as people are using high resolution smart meter data for this benefit, it has some demerits as well. For example, by observing the data, one can easily find the activities in the houses. Okay. So it's very important to preserve the privacy of smart meter. So actually, the data can be classified at two types. One is the low frequency data, and another is the high frequency data. So low frequency data actually used for state estimation, that how much energy needed in aggregated energy needed for certain area. Okay, how much demand should be at certain area at certain time. Okay, in case of high frequency data, which is really risk for privacy, they are fine-grained data, and these data are used for control and optimization. In case of low frequency data, they are used just how much energy needed for certain energy for this estimation, which is not high risky because it's a low frequency data. By analyzing the data of a energy consumer, it is possible to identify the consumer behavior habit. For example, what time they get up in the morning. So when people are getting up in the morning, they turn off the oven, they go to the shower, all the electric appliances are turning on, almost all the lights are turning on. So it is possible to easily understand that they get up at that time, because at that time the power consumption is high compared to other time in the morning. And it is also possible to identify the number of occupants in the house. So if there are 5 occupants, the average energy consumption should be lower, while there are 15 occupants, the energy consumption should be higher. Okay, so it is easily possible to identify how many people are living in the house. And types of electricity equipment uses. So in energy company have the idea that which electric equipment, about the rating of the electric equipment. So based on the power consumption change, they can easily identify that what kind of equipment they are using. So by analyzing the smart meter data, it is possible to identify what is happening inside the house, which is a breach of privacy. So what can be done? Actually, one can identify sleeping pattern of the people in the house. For example, if there is a small kid, he can wake up at the middle of the night and someone can turn on the light or maybe turn on some heater. So if someone can see that they have some energy consumption at the midnight, so they can identify that there is a small kid or maybe there is an old guys there. Okay, so their food habit can be identified, their shower time, health information, hobby, working hour. Okay, this can be identified. If some people work at night, maybe when they come at night, they try to see some program in the television, or this try to turn on other electronics device which needs power consumption and which is recorded by the smart meter, and utility provider can easily observe this. Okay. We can also identify either a house is vacant or occupied, age of the people in the house, increase or decrease of the occupant. Either house is vacant or occupied. So if someone like to steal something from the house and he is saying that for the last 1 month, the energy consumption of the house is very constant and it's very low, then he can easily understand that there is no one living in the house for the current time. So they can plan for the stealing. So it is very important to preserve the privacy of smart meter data. Yeah, I already mentioned that type of electric equipment uses in the house. They can easily identify rating of the appliance, duration of the uses of appliances, time of uses of appliances, change of appliances, identify the TV channel. Actually, it is very scary that people can identify what kind of TV channel people are using by analyzing the smart meter data. So how we can solve this problem? How we can preserve the privacy? So there are 2 methods. One is tampering with smart meter data, and there is load side energy management or demand side energy management, or whatever you tell. So in case of tampering the smart meter data, we need to change the data actually. So this can be happened by using cryptography, by adding noise, by compression or aggregation. In case of load side energy management, or you can tell that demand side energy management, you can use a rechargeable battery or renewable energy source. These 2 can be used for demand side energy management. So tampering with the smart meter data, actually this is based on public key infrastructure. So they are using, there is public key and private key in case of cryptography. So it requires trusted third party who is controlling everything. So the problem is you cannot always trust the third party. Maybe they can sell their data to get their own benefit. Okay, so there are other issues with the tampering data which I'll discuss. And if you want to use the tampering data, then you need to use the new infrastructure. Okay, so for cryptography system, and the computation complex computation process, because what you need to do, you need to always calculate the bill, what bill is coming every month. So when you are tampering the data by using the cryptography system, the billing process could be complex because they are using some, they are adding some noise, they are adding some, public and private key to compress the data or to encrypt the data, decrypt the data. So the billing is very complex. In case of load side energy management or demand side energy management, you need to use an energy management unit, okay, which will control everything. Okay, a storage or renewable energy source. So you need to use a rechargeable battery or renewable energy source. Even you are using a renewable energy source, you need to use a battery to store the energy that is generated by the renewable energy source. And you need to propose an efficient algorithm for the energy management unit. Okay, so this can be a structure for the demand side energy management. There is a house here. So there should be a rechargeable battery. In fact, up to this inside the house from smart grid, smart meter, it should be with the house, energy management unit, and rechargeable battery or solar panel, whatever, it should be go inside the house. Okay. Yep, maybe I'll discuss it more. Okay. So what are the disadvantages of data tampering? As I already mentioned, that inaccurate prediction of the demand and grid management. So because that there is encryption and decryption or adding noise of the real data of the smart grid. So is not always trusted. If someone is tampering data, so anyone can use some smart device in the smart line, in the transmission or distribution line, for example, the utility company, and he can easily find out the real energy consumption. As I mentioned, that there are two limitations of the rechargeable battery. It is the limited capacity and maximum charge discharge rate. So if the capacity of the renewable energy was infinite, we can easily preserve the privacy. There is no issue with this. And we can easily save the cost of the energy consumer, but the problem is the limited capacity. Even we are using the renewable energy sources, still we need to charge the battery from the energy generated from the renewable energy source, or we may also directly use this, but everyone has the depreciation cost. One of the other issues is the reducing the average cost of energy. So what we are doing here, actually, we are strategically charging and discharging renewable energy, the battery, so to reduce the cost. For example, during the peak period, the energy cost is very high. So at that time, we can discharge the battery, and during the off-peak period, the energy cost is very low. At that time, we can charge the battery. So in this way, we can reduce the average cost of energy. Okay, so this is the method of using the using a battery for the demand side energy management. Okay, so using a rechargeable battery, the load profile of the household user can be distorted by charging or discharging a battery. How it is happening? For example, this house is consuming energy from the grid. So, for example, it is just consuming energy for some appliances. At the same time, it is also charging the battery. So the smart meter will not going to record the actual energy consumption, because it is also recording the energy consumption by the rechargeable battery. And when the battery is fully charged, it can discharge it can supply some energy to the appliances, and it can take not the real energy consumption, just for the consumption of some few appliances. So the smart meter never be able to record the real energy consumption of a house. So this way we can mask the real energy consumption and preserve the privacy. Okay, so if you want to improve the privacy, you can definitely use more batteries or high rating renewable energy sources. Okay, if someone is very interested about if someone come to small capacity batteries so that everyone can afford this and preserve the privacy as well as reduce the average cost. Actually, in our current work, we have proposed one method by using artificial fish swamp optimization algorithm. So there are three properties of artificial fish swamp optimization algorithm. One is artificial swamp, artificial fish follow, and artificial fish prey. Okay, so the characteristic of the fish is it always like to go to go to somewhere where the food concentration is higher. Okay, with the help of above behavior, artificial fish chose the best position for the better food concentration and move one step forward toward the position. Okay, maybe I'll talk about these properties a bit. So this is artificial fish. Okay, so these are the step, and this is his visualization. He can see like the bigger circle. So the step can be considered can be analogical with charge and discharge rate of the battery, and visual can be compared with the state of the charge of the battery, rechargeable battery. Okay, so that's the reason as artificial fish swamp optimization algorithm has certain characteristic that has similarity with the true constraint of the battery. That's the reason we are using this algorithm. Okay, so it's suitable for designing an efficient algorithm for energy management unit. Yep. So in case of artificial fish swamp, actually it's try to go to the center. In this case, artificial fish move toward the central position to see if the food concentration is better compared to its initial position. So its initial position was like here, then it's go to the center to see if the food concentration is higher there. So this fish always try to go somewhere where the food concentration is higher. And in case of artificial fish follow, it's explore the companion of the neighborhood and see if the companion has better food concentration compared to its initial position. So this fish always see where the more companion there, and it try to go there and see if the food concentration is higher there. And in case of artificial fish prey, it can go anywhere based on its vision or sense. Okay, if perceive the concentration of the food, the water to determine the movement by vision or sense to choose the tendency. So it can be a random. It can change its position randomly here in case of artificial fish prey. So when you are going to use the artificial fish swamp in our proposed method, EMU chooses the average demand obtained from the history of the demand as the target output load to preserve the cost-friendly privacy and see how long the cost-friendly privacy can be preserved. So in this case, our target load become the average demand. So how we find the average demand based on the history of the energy uses of a house, we find the average demand and see that if we always try to make the output of a smart meter near the average demand by charging, discharging the rechargeable battery, and see how the cost-friendly privacy preservation work there. Okay, in this case, we use artificial fish swamp. And in case of artificial fish follow, we determine an upper and lower possible value of the target output load. And from that range, we chose a target load that is most suitable to preserve the cost-friendly privacy of smart meter. Okay, so in this case, we chose upper and lower value, or highest or lowest value, and chose anyone which is in between them as a target output load that preserve better cost-friendly privacy of the smart meter. And in case of artificial prey, we only use this in case of when the battery is critical, maybe battery is going to be fully discharged or fully charged. In this case, we use this, and we try to improve the state of the charge of the battery. Okay, so based on this three behavior, we chose the one that preserve better cost-friendly privacy for the smart meter or for the consumer in the house. We already published this work, so we see that, for example, you see the the demand of appliances, which is up and down. This is yep. So the output is the green one. You can see the green one and the water filling online. So yeah, the green one, if you see, the green one is very stable. So by analyzing this, people will not be able to identify actually what is happening inside the house. Okay, so this is the output. Actually, we have two output. One is for offline method and the other is for online method. Okay, so the dash blue one is for the offline method, and AFS offline method, and the green one is AFS online method.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yep.
Can I ask you a question?
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, can you say more about detail in about artificial fish? I haven't understood properly.
And maybe
Okay.
we can take the question in our Q&A section.
Yeah, definitely. So maybe let me finish this, then I can discuss with you. Yep, thank you. Yep. So, and this graph actually used for privacy preservation ability. So we are using information leakage rate for measuring the ability of the privacy preservation. And we define some equation for cost saving. And we can see that artificial fish swamp offline is performing better. Okay, water filling. Okay, so the lower the leakage rate, better the privacy. Okay, so we can see that these two graph is performing better, the blue one and dash green one and dash blue one. Okay, the same happening in case of cost saving as well. So we already published this work. Okay, so yeah, so we have in future we are thinking to differential privacy. Actually, we also published one work with differential privacy, but now the differential privacy is very advanced. We are thinking to work with this. We have thinking to work about the data integrity and using the weather forecast for better privacy of smart meter by using rechargeable battery. Yep. So yeah. Okay, I think that's all. So you can definitely go for the question now. Thank you so much. Yeah. You can ask me the question now.
Thank you very much for this amazing presentation, sir. It is full of authentic informations we never knew these all could happen and it exists. Now, I would like to humbly...
Yeah, this actually happening. I think in Bangladesh the smart grid is not still, it is not still active. So the places where people are using smart grid, they are analyzing the data and they can see that they can find this kind of information by analyzing the data. Okay, smart grid data. So yeah.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to ask one of our friends, Masud Rana, chairman of
sorry, there is a connection interruption, I think. Maybe
student branch to conduct the question and answer session. Masud Rana, are you here?
Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, you're on. Please. Yes, you're on. Continue.
Hello everyone, I'm Masud Karim, Chair IEEE University Student Branch. So begin with the question and answering session. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Belayet Hossain for his amazing session and for giving us for his valuable time to give us his valuable time and giving us the session full of his this amazing session and the full of authentic information and this amazing information and all those. Thank you, sir, very much. And we have some questions from the participants. And first of all, that a question from a participant that why smart grid? What's wrong with the conventional grid? As there will be a changing cost from one system to another.
Yeah, this is a really good question. You know that the demand of energy is increasing very high. Okay, so by using the smart grid, we have more facilities. For example, are you familiar with the term demand response? For example, it's work like this. When the energy demand is very high, they send some message to some consumer. They are participating in the demand response. Okay, so they stop using some of the appliances to meet the demand. So this is only possible with the smart grid. Okay, with the conventional grid, which is not possible. And we need to use the renewable energy because that the source of conventional energy is very limited. So the use of renewable energy sources are increasing. With the smart grid, integrating the renewable energy to the conventional grid is very difficult. And the control system, due to the control system, if the control system is not automated, it will have a great loss of energy. So based on a lot of benefit for the smart grid compared to the conventional grid, we need to use the smart grid. That using a smart grid, a consumer can get money by selling energy to the grid, where in case of conventional grid, it's not possible. So in case of smart grid, there are two-way communication. So a consumer can work as a prosumer as well there. Okay. So there are a lot of benefit in the smart grid compared to the conventional grid. So I think it is very important to convert to the smart grid.
Thank you, sir, for this answer. We have another question.
Yep.
It says, how severe it can be, the threat of data privacy?
How severe it could
Yes,
be.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, look, data privacy could be very severe. For example, as I mentioned before, that if no one is in the house, for example, some people go for a holidays for 1 month, so no one at the house. So if someone can see that there is no energy consumption, the energy consumption is flat, so they can plan for stealing from the house. So this is very important. And some people, that insurance company can buy this data by spending a lot of money, because if they know the habit or the age of the people by analyzing this data, they can offer some insurance to these people. Okay, some insurance packages which will bring benefit for the insurance company. So the energy consumption data is very important for some companies like advertising company, insurance company. They can buy this data with a large amount of money. So someone will be interested to steal this type of data. So this is very important to preserve the privacy. And this type of data even cause the financial loss of the consumer as well. So privacy is very important.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this answer. As I see, is there any question? There is another question. As it says, as we have seen, there are lot of privacy threat. How much it's reliable? How much it's reliable? It's for country like Bangladesh.
Look, in Bangladesh, there are a lot of load shedding, so which need to be improved. I think if they are converting the conventional grid to the smart grid, the load shedding can be minimized because there are a lot of energy loss. And about the privacy, this is also important for every human being. Okay, so privacy is always a matter. You never use your private information. You never be happy if your private information is disclosed. What you are doing inside the house, if someone can know, no one will be happy. So I think privacy is very important for everyone.
Obviously, sir, privacy is very important for everyone, as we all want to hide our private.
Yeah, definitely.
So, also, yes, sir.
Yep.
So
I
as
think
I
every
can
people
say,
has the right to preserve their privacy.
obviously,
Yep.
as I say, Farhan Nasin Nabila, if you have any question, and unmute yourself and. Nabila, if you have any question.
Why
Yes.
in Bangladesh we are not using smart grid? Is it too costly? or why?
I think they started to use because I talked with some of my friends and they are telling that they are going to it cannot be changed overnight. It will change day by day, and I think the government is taking some initiative. That they need to use the smart grid, not the conventional grid, smart meter, not the conventional meter, though that have communication ability, wireless communication ability, and I think the government is taking the initiation for this.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Is there any question? Anybody? Soili Sajlim, unmute yourself and ask the question.
Sir, can you say more about in detail about artificial fish and what's the significance of this in smart grid?
Yep. Actually, it is not important that you need to always use the artificial fish optimization algorithm for preserving the privacy of the smart meter. But what I did, I studied this algorithm and I find that this algorithm is suitable for designing an efficient energy management unit. That's why I'm using this. This algorithm has two properties. One is artificial fish swarm, uh, artificial fish follow, and artificial fish prey. So artificial fish swarm is like the averaging of the energy. So you see that the location of fish is here. So what will be the average location of the fish? In the middle. So in the central position. So in this case, we are trying to average energy demand of a house to preserve the cost-friendly privacy of a house by discharging the rechargeable battery. In case of artificial fish follow, actually the fish always try to go to the high concentration of his neighborhood. For example, some fish is there, he's seeing that in somewhere in the neighborhood the fish concentration is high, so this fish will think that maybe food concentration is high there, so the fish will go there. So in this case, actually, by using this property, what we are doing, we are calculating the highest and lowest possible outcome of a energy by using the battery, and we are choosing the any value between them to preserve the better privacy, and we see that for which value the privacy preservation is the highest. Okay, this is the property of the artificial fish follow that we are going to use there. And artificial fish pay, it's like a random position. So this has been used when the battery in its extreme state of charge. Extreme state of charge means either battery is almost going to be fully discharged or almost going to be fully charged. In this case, we use this to determine the target output load and make the state of the charge of the battery, normal. Maybe, if it is very high, if it is like empty, then we try to we choose the target output so that the battery charge increases. Or if the battery is fully charged, we try to choose an target output that discharge the battery a bit. It's work like this. Maybe you can also, if you don't clearly understand, still you can see. But these are the three properties. Actually, in a short term, I can tell that this considered the average value artificial fish swarm. This is calculating two values which is high and low, highest and lowest, and finding some value between them that preserve the better privacy. And this is like the random value, artificial fish prey. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. That means it is all about the measurement of our using electricity and privacy protection. And it is the significance in the end. Kind of like
actually, yeah, definitely. Because, for example, you are consuming 5 kilowatt energy. So when you are charging your battery, but the battery is also being charged. So it is maybe 1 kilowatt energy is being charged by the battery, and your appliance is taking 5 kilowatts. So totally 6 kilowatts. So the smart meter is recording 6 kilowatt, not the 5. 5 is your actual, but 6 kilowatt is not your actual energy consumption because you are charging the battery, and the company don't know you have the battery. Okay, so they are changing the data for preserving the privacy. Yeah,
Okay, sir. Thank you.
no worries.
Okay, thank you, sir. As is there any other question? Anyone?
I have one question. Dr. Belayet, this is not related to your research topics. Just for curiosity, is there any materials that's need to develop for smart grid, or in your country or in your research area, any special material is already developed that's employed in smart grid, and what are the materials, if any?
I think if you are doing research with material, then I think transformer can be a good thing. If there is always energy loss in the transformer, and transformer is made of material. So if you consider better material that is reducing the loss of energy, and the temperature is one of the main issue for energy loss. So this can be I think this can be a very good resource, improving the efficiency of the transformer by using, better quality of the material. Yeah, and always the conductor, obviously, if you can improve the efficiency.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. Is there any other questions? So I think there's no question. Now, as I see, there's no question. So thank you, sir, for being with us and for your valuable time. Before ending this question and answer session, I would like to request all of you to turn on your camera to take a group photo. As we all are here for almost 1 hour, let's take a group photo. Everyone, turn on your camera so that we can take a group photo. Everyone, if you don't have any problem, just turn on your camera.
Yes, I'm here. Let's end this session.
Okay, the closing ceremony in the session with the closing remarks.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are concluding this enlightening webinar on demand-side energy management for privacy or in smart grid. I'd like to express my heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished guests, our teachers, and attendees. Today, it is very clear that safeguarding privacy while maximizing energy efficiency is paramount, and it is the peak need for a sustainable future. Let us remember that throughout innovative technologies and responsible data handling, we can strike a harmonious balance between energy optimization and individual privacy rights. So, together, let's shape a brighter and smarter tomorrow. Thank you all for your invaluable contributions. And please fill up the feedback form we have given in the chat box or WhatsApp group. And only those who will fill up this form will get a participation certificate as well. So please fill up the form and stay connected with IEEE Just. You all can also follow the Facebook page, the LinkedIn page, and the website of IEEE Just Student Branch to catch up on the further information. Thank you, everyone, for your time.
Thank you so much.
So, sir, we have.
It was really nice talking to you.
Sir, at the end, I would like to request our advisor, sir, Dr. Amjad Hossain, sir, to give a small gift, a token of appreciation, and a certificate to Dr. Belayet Hossain, sir.
Thank you very much, Masood. In these cases, I want to request also Dr. Mehdi, please come with me on virtual. So to hand over this token of gift to Dr. Belayet. So this is from the IEEE student branch at Deakin University of Science and Technology. So please share the token of gift or token of certificate. Please share this, and please Mehdi, just come on or just say your consent to hand over this Dr. Belayet.
Okay, thank you. Actually, I want to give a heartfelt thanks to Dr. Belayet for presenting such a wonderful and timely topic. So please, as we are not physically presented, so at least you should be happy with this virtual one. So thank you again.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Please share this.
Yeah, please share. Masood.
Yes, sir. I'm
Okay,
sharing. Sir,
So a big hand
Thank you,
for
Belayet.
Dr. Belayet.
Thank you
Please,
so much.
thank you, sir.
please big hand or everybody. Please big hand for and thanks for Dr. Belayet.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for being with us for this
So this
amazing
session
much.
was amazing.
Yeah.
And that,
It's a great pleasure, actually.
thank you, sir.
No worries.
I will send you to this.
Thank you so
I
much.
just, okay, lastly, I just want to ask, will be, sorry, is this presentation will be uploaded in YouTube or anywhere else?
No,
Yes.
I did not upload it
Okay, you don't
anywhere. So-
Okay then. No, just
Also-
I'm asking Masood.
Okay.
Sir, can we, sir, upload it in YouTube?
Did you record it?
Yes, sir. We have recorded it.
Okay then, no problem. Okay,
Yeah,
that's enough.
if you record it, you can upload. That should be
Yeah,
fine.
you,
for
you
me.
can create a YouTube channel and you can just serial. You
Yes,
can
sir.
upload
We
the
have
videos. Yeah.
YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's
IEEE
my
Class
suggestion.
Student Branch.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
that would be great.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. We will upload it.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Okay,
Okay, sir.
thank you again.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks again.
And
Thank you.
Belayet
And
sir,
thank you for
I
joining.
actually had a lot of more questions, but the time is limited. So is it possible to
Okay,
connect
I
with
think
you
I
on
think I,
your
I think
email?
you can ask them to email him. Okay. Question.
Yeah,
Yes,
If there is
definitely.
any question, you can ask
I
him to
will,
email.
inshallah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
anyone have any other questions, just contact me. I will give his email address. If it's possible, sir, I will give
All
your
good. All
contact
good.
number.
Fine.
Okay,
Everything
sir.
is
Thank you.
fine.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
everyone,
much.
for joining. And now I will end this meeting. Thanks, everyone, for joining this. Okay. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Goodbye,
Bye.
sir.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay.
Bye.